Hey y'all, we're back. Y'all, we are back. And I appreciate everything y'all do in trying to discuss the case of missing Nancy Guthrie, okay? There are questions, y'all. And let me tell you something. These are just my opinions. And my opinions are not necessarily based on facts, but they are my opinions. Your opinions is your opinions. Now, Miss Nancy, I couldn't pick this information up, y'all, because they wanted me to buy a subscription, but I'm not about to pay for no subscription when I can get it free. So it's some things that I'm trying to get into that description. But we have a lot of questions, so y'all come on in. Let's talk about it. Y'all know that Miss Nancy Guthrie is still missing, okay? And it's questions I want to ask y'all, but I'm gonna ask the questions later. Now look, y'all, she do have friends. Miss Nancy have friends. Her friends know about her front door. Her friends know about her, about Nancy because she have friends. So I'm gonna get y'all. Come on, just get y'all a chance because I ain't gonna start over. I'm not gonna start over, okay? Yeah, something I didn't know, but the more I research on this case, not from nobody else, not from the sleuters or nothing like that. It's from like informational, people that I know I could trust what they saying. Now y'all, just in case y'all didn't know, Miss Nancy had turned 84 days before she went missing. Days before she went over her daughter's house, she was 84. She had turned 84, and some friends before she went missing. Guess what? Guess what? What do you say? You're Oh man, you in the chat? I'm talking to you. Okay. It's okay, y'all. Y'all, those new people who new to my channel, I'm talking to my subscribers, okay? They all not in here, okay? They don't always come to the show. Why you worrying about that? I'm talking about Miss Nancy. Jesus. I can't even talk about Nancy May. Let me talk about anywho. Miss Nancy, Miss Nancy, Miss Nancy birthday was days before she went missing, and she had some of her friends over her house. Maybe they need to question her friends. You know what I mean? She do have friends. Maybe they need to question her friend, but you're going to get a chance to listen to one of her friends talk. But she was happy before she turned 84. Do y'all think that one of her friends took her out and something happened? Or what you think? Okay. Well, let's listen to her friend.
Tucson for more than a decade. And Laura, I'm glad to see you again, although disappointed because, we all keep hoping that this nightmare is going to end and that she will be returned, she will be alive, back with her family. But I know, Laura, you have just been, desperately, like everyone in the neighborhood, trying to do anything possible to help. And you've pointed out something very interesting, and that is Nancy's door. In the community, I guess others have similar doors, including yourself. You say you have the same door. What does that tell you, Laura?
What this tells me is, and I noticed it I noticed the way the person on the video was staring at the front door. That told me he wasn't that familiar with these doors, perhaps, because anybody who has these doors, they're really screen doors, but they're uber screen doors. They're extra secure, and we don't do well with screens here because of all the bugs and the extreme weather. So these are also protective over our doors. And I have one at the back of my house, and they're super
Hey,
secure,
Teresa.
and they're usually they have metal frames, and you're not going to break into those doors very easily. So my initial reaction was he's not that familiar with that house and that door, because you're not going to get in those doors very easily. You're going to, in my opinion, try to find another way in, and perhaps he was just looking at how they were going to get out.
Well, and okay, that's a really important point. First of all, if and I know obviously this is just your informed knowledge as a neighbor, but if it's not someone who knew her well or who knew that door, that obviously is a huge piece of information if that ends up being the case. But also what you're saying about the door being so, because I guess the assumption maybe many have had is that when he took the doorbell cam off and he stuck those weeds up by it, that somehow he did get in the door. You're saying that it's possible it could have been another way. You're familiar with the layout of the home, so what does that open to you in terms of a possibility of how this individual may have gotten in?
Well, I don't know how he would have gotten in without a key, because these screen doors really are very secure. And so my next thought was that he must have gotten in another way. And there, of course, people have seen videos and photos, and there are numerous other ways around the house, such as screen to sliders, sliding glass doors, and also, I don't know, regular doors. She might have had a regular door up the garage, I'm not sure. But a lot of people have sliding glass doors. Of course, there's always windows, and that's just an observation. But that front door, to me, isn't one that you're going to break into easily.
And you were familiar, you say, with the fact that where she would have been, as we understand, which is sleeping, would have been in her bedroom on the left side of the house.
Yes, I believe that that's the case, and I think that may have been where they went, around the side of the house. Looking at the videos, you can see that on the left side there are bushes, and you can't see that very well from the street. And on the right side, you can see the garage, and you can very clearly see the driveway in the side of the house. So that would be a natural potential direction that he would have gone. But I don't know that. I'm just looking at the house from the front and having been there.
Well, I mean, it's obviously having been there and just the information that you have, I think it gives people the opportunity to think outside the box with a lot of new information about the door and other ways into the home. Laura, thank you very much. I am glad to see you.
So what y'all think about that? Let me go back to the door, front door. Oh shoot, I'm way too late now, y'all.
Shot and killed by an ICE agent
Okay.
in Minneapolis on Wednesday.
So what y'all think about that? Tell me what you think about that in the chat.